Yeah, hi peeps, it's back on Squat Box once again, and I'm going to bring you some of the news today in the UK. Well, as I say, some of the news, well, one bit of the news, which went on and on and on and on and on, you know what I mean? It's the fact that young people who have been sitting their exams before the summer, no recess of schools and colleges, are now getting their exam results, and I will have a ramble at the end of this next clip or two that I'm putting up. So don't get bored. No, watch the news and watch the ticker tape down the bottom. There's some information there that's quite important. You know what I mean? Well, at least two bits of information. The fact, well, I'll get to that later. So watch the video and then I'll come back to you, right?
Thanks, Dan. So let's talk about A-levels. The waiting finally over for about 300,000 A-level students in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. Their results show that the overall pass rate has gone up slightly, but the number of A or A-star grades is down by 0.3%. That is the second biggest fall in the history of the exams. And it seems that more students are taking A-levels in sciences, maths and economics. Our education correspondent Rita Chakrabarti has been at a school in Birmingham this morning. She sent this report.
It's a day of high emotion for girls and boys alike. Tears of happiness were on display, though there will have been private tears of disappointment too. But here at Arthur Terry School in the West Midlands, the overall atmosphere was very upbeat.
I've got a B in English Literature, a C in History and a B in Fine Art, which I'm really happy about.
I didn't do as well as I wanted to, but I got in, so every cloud has its silver lining, so I'm very happy with that.
I've done really well as well. I've got into Aston University, so I'm really happy. I wasn't expecting it, but I got in.
There are destinies being decided here and all over the country, and for young people with good grades wanting higher education, this year it's a buyer's market.
That's because universities can this year recruit unlimited numbers of students who get an A and 2 Bs or above. It means AJ, who's done better than expected, can trade up.
I initially applied to Biomed at Aston, but because I've got much better grades than I thought I would, I'm going to upgrade to a better course, which is optometry at Aston University.
Anyone who wants to trade up or who's failed to get the grades they need for university can get in touch with the call centre here at UCAS to find vacancies elsewhere. UCAS says numbers being accepted by university were this morning up by 9% on last year.
Well, this is the biggest number that we've ever managed to confirm on A-level results day ever before. That's actually partly just much more efficient processing here at UCAS and in admissions offices, but it also means that there's lots of people out there who've got their results, have got their confirmed place, and this is a great day for celebration for them.
Around the UK, teenagers in Northern Ireland continue to do the best, with pupils in Wales coming behind those in England. For the second year running, those getting the very top grades overall dipped slightly. Why?
It does look as if perhaps some students have been opting for the more difficult A-level subjects where it's a bit harder to get an A or an A-star. But ultimately this is down to the integrity of the exam system, which we have complete confidence in.
The system has so far worked smoothly this year, and for hundreds of thousands of teenagers, it's a day they'll never forget. Rita Chakrabarti, BBC News in the West Midlands.
Joins me from Oxford. He's the chairman of the Independent Schools Council. Good afternoon.
Hello.
So that slight drop in A and A stars, a lot of people will read that actually as a positive thing. Do you?
It's a really good thing that there's been a slight decrease in the proportion getting an A and A star, because for years we suffered from grade inflation. I mean, back in the year 2000, only 8% got at these top grades, but this year it's still over 26%. It's gone down slightly, but that's important for the reputation of the qualification.
And the change is an authentic one. Do you feel it hasn't been a deliberate attempt to tweak the system precisely because of the concerns that people like you and I have discussed for many years now?
Yeah. No, it's absolutely authentic. I mean, Ofqual and the exam boards have worked together to ensure that standards from one year to the next remain comparable. And as an earlier person said on your programme, there's an increase in the proportion of students taking the so-called harder subjects, and so you would expect a small dip in the top grades for that reason.
Yeah, and that's interesting, isn't it? Why those harder subjects, do you think?
Well, I mean, there's been an increase in the take-up of maths and further maths, physics, chemistry, biology, and that's because the universities themselves have been stressing that these are subjects that where they don't have adequate demand and which lead to good jobs, and schools have picked up on that and they're encouraging students to go through. But the same is not true of modern languages, another set of hard subjects where, with the exception of Spanish, numbers have gone down. I mean, French has gone down, German's gone down. There are only 4,000 people taking German A-level last year. So it's a bit of a mixed picture.
Yes, I mean, is that worrying to you? And in a globalised world, should we not be encouraging children to stick with languages for longer?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a few years ago, the government made the decision to make modern languages optional at GCSE, and this has had a big knock-on effect. And this government is trying to reverse this trend, and certainly the numbers doing modern languages are far too low, and so are the numbers doing physics. I mean, only 35,000 took physics A-level, of whom only 7,000 were girls this year. That's a really tiny number when you compare it with the 56,000, for example, taking psychology, of whom 42,000 were girls. So, you know, the sciences are making up ground, but only slowly. Modern languages are continuing their decline.
All right, and a quick thought, if I may, about now the process going into university. The idea that students can now trade up, certainly not something that ever went on in my day. What do you make of this as even a possibility now? The idea that a student can choose to perhaps go to an even better university than they planned because they perform better than they expect in their exams. Will this create elite universities? Is there anything problematic with this?
Yeah, there are a couple of things that are problematic. I mean, I think first of all, you can exaggerate the number that are going to trade up. I mean, most students have got more or less what they wanted today, and they're going to stick with that. Universities can take more students with an A and 2Bs if they want to. Some will want to trade up. And this may have the effect of stripping out some of these more able students from the middle-ranking universities and sucking them into the more prestigious universities. But what students and parents have got to watch out for is overcrowding, and whether or not the universities they're transferring to have really got the accommodation if they're not living at home. So there will be difficulties.
Yes, interesting. All right, thank you very much for now. Thank you, Barnaby Lennon there, the chairman of the Independent Schools Council. Thank you.
Well, we're just getting some news in.
Yeah, so here we go, we're back. You just watched that. It's all about people getting the results. It's all about colleges and schools getting their A-level passes and A-star classes. But there's one thing I've got to say to you, well, there's two things I've got to say to you, but there's one thing that's very important. Did you notice that they were only talking about England, Ireland, Northern Ireland and Wales? They didn't talk about Scottish results. I guess we just didn't have anybody that was sitting in any of these A-levels, you know what I mean? I don't know what we do in Scotland. Obviously it's not getting to do with the United Kingdom, certification of education, you know what I mean? It's like, no, I don't know, we probably just carve it in a big bit of stone and give you, there's your certificate, and they don't want to film that, some stupid thing like that going on. Anyway, so the Scottish results are probably in, and they say, there's this drop, there's this quite a large percentage drop. I think it's like 3% max in some subjects, of people taking certain subjects and certain passes, certain levels of pass. But if you notice, it's England, Wales and Northern Ireland. It's not England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales. No, it's just England, Wales and Northern Ireland. Apparently, the English government and the BBC's news service have decided that Scotland has already left the United Kingdom. We've already got our independence. They're already ramping up for it, you know what I mean? Scotland's going to be independent. They're not going to be part of the United Kingdom, so we don't have to mention them in the news anymore, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's basically it, Scotland is an independent nation. We don't have to talk about their National Health Service or their school exam results, or their crime results. We don't include them in England, Wales and Northern Ireland anymore. That way we can get, and the crime thing is good because the crime goes down, because we don't include the crime in Scotland, probably quite a lot of it, I don't know, but and it's bad because when we talk about school results, well, all the levels of passes drop, substantially because we're not including Scotland's results, you know what I mean? I mean, if they were to put Scotland's results in, you'd probably see that, yeah, again this year, yeah, more people passed than last year. That would be the way it would be if they included Scottish results, but they're just including England, Wales and Ireland, Northern Ireland, you know. So there, yeah, that's just one thing I've got to say. Another thing, 7.4% more people took economics. That just shows you that there's 7.4% more fucking greedy bastards this year, no, coming out of colleges and universities, you know what I mean? With A-levels, you know, that's all it is. Another 7.4 greedy bastards want to be bankers, you know, and stop fucking, you know, traders. That's what it is. Another 7.4, an extra 7.4, not more. You know, it's not just 7.4. It's an extra 7.4% people took economics. So an extra 7.4% of people, seeing how greedy the bankers are and how much money they make, thought, you know what? I'm going to do economics. I want to come out and be a greedy bastard and make those millions, steal those millions off of all the other wankers under me, you know. Probably all the bullies and fucking people that they hated in school, they all doing economics. They all want to be bankers, man, because they want to come out and bully people and say, no, I'm not giving you a loan. I hated you at school and I hate you now, so fuck off. You know, that's the sort of people that took fucking economics. Greedy bastards, you know what I mean? They say, yeah, and well, you're putting your shitty fucking, you know, McDonald's wages in the bank, you know, they pay for your rent. We're going to be using it to gamble on the fucking stock market around the world and make millions for me and nothing for you. You know, that's what's going on, man. 7.4 more greedy bastards went through college and university this year. That's what that statistic says to me, you know. But that's just me, because I'm a fucking horrible, you know, see the dark side, see the, you know, I'm your father, Luke, you know, side of the, you know, the universe, you know, that's just me, it's just the way it is, you know. Anyway, so yeah, 7.4 more greedy bastards in the world today than there was last year. And yeah, Scotland's already got its independence according to the BBC, as they didn't report on Scottish, you know, statistics for their, what do you call it, you know, A-levels, you know. So yeah, I mean, I'm not a hater of England, I'm not a hater of Britain, but it seems that fucking the BBC and England fucking hate us, you know. They won't tell you how well Scotland or how badly Scotland did. No, it's like, no, let's just not put their statistics in. It might skew the statistics, you know what I mean, one way or the other. I don't know what way it would go. I haven't really checked Scottish news, not that we get Scottish news, that's the thing. No, because it's national news. That was the BBC's national news and never mentioned Scotland. Can you understand in America why we fucking hate Britain as Scots at the moment? Because not a mention of Scotland in any of that fucking shit. And at the moment they're talking about English cricket, men's and women's English cricket. Not a mention of Scotland. And by the way, Scotland almost beat England in football last night. Scotland scored the first goal in the first half. England equalised, one each. The second half, Scotland scored the first goal again, England equalised, and then they got a lucky goal and they beat us 3-2. But for a shitty wee country like Scotland to hold that great nation of England almost to a draw and then just getting beaten by one goal, you know what I mean? Fucking hell, I've seen better nations than us, you know what I mean, according to the fucking BBC, you know. Better nations than us have done badly against England. We almost beat the fuckers, you know what I mean? And yeah, I was gutted we didn't fucking beat them. I was gutted we didn't get that last fucking minute goal and fucking, you know, kick their fucking ass, you know what I mean? But, c'est la vie, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm a bit of European. I'm a Europhile. I like Europe. I want to be more European. I'm a Scot, I'm a Brit, and then I'm a European, you know what I mean? And then I'm a man of the world after that, you know what I mean? But I want to be more European. I want to be more involved in Europe, you know? And maybe when Scotland gets its independence, I mean, well, as far as, you know, BBC is concerned, we've got our independence. They obviously don't care about who got A-levels in Scotland compared to England, Ireland and Wales, you know. No, it's all just England, Ireland and Wales. Scotland, is that even a country anymore? I thought they were independent. I thought they'd shuffled off this mortal coil we called the United Kingdom and went off on their own, you know what I mean? Yeah, well, yes, we're going to do that. We'll get that next year, 2014. Watch out, folks. I'm all for fucking, you know, Scotland as an independent nation. You know, stand up for themselves, do things for themselves, fuck up for themselves, yeah, fine, you know what I mean? At least we might get some Scottish news where they talk about what happened in Scotland and not just England, Wales and Northern Ireland, you know what I mean? But, you know, that's just the way fucking shit is in Britain at the moment, you know what I mean? So, I think I went on and on and on long enough. Cheers folks, Swansea fucking bar.